On this episode of Game Shack, I've got news about AtGames Virtual Pinball, including the HD and the brand new 4K game. Plus, I'm going to ask you guys, what would you rather see from Arcade1up in 2024? Brand new titles in the Deluxe form factor, or retreads, but they're XLs? All right, all that and more coming up next. Hey, good looking, what you been cooking? It's JDV here for Evil Genius Entertainment. Thank you for stopping by the Game Shack. Really does mean a lot to us if you like this video, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hope you had a good Halloween. Speaking of that, if you guys could go check out our brand new short horror movie, The Corn Maze Monster, we would love you even more than we already do. All right, so let's just jump right on into it and talk a little bit about the news from AtGames, and that news is good, because they just announced today that if you own the original ELP, you are going to be able to update the firmware for those 22 original Gottlieb tables that come on that pinball game. Now, they had first told us that that wasn't going to be possible, because remember, those games are burnt into the CPU when it shipped. So apparently they were a little bit worried about bricking the machine, but apparently they have worked that out. So if you want better physics, better graphics, some better lighting, a whole slew of new things have been updated for those Gottlieb tables. You can do that right now. I'll have a link down below if you want to go and do that. I'm going to do it this weekend, so hopefully I'll have some news or video for you guys next week if you want to wait to see how it works for me before you risk your machine. But again, I think that is a really cool thing that they have not forgotten the original HD ELP owners, people like me who are probably not going to upgrade to the 4K machine, both because I have a bigger, better machine and because I like this ELP just fine. So it's really cool that they're doing that. Anyway, I'm going to do that this weekend. I'll let you guys know next week how it turns out. And a little bit more about the AtGames Virtual Pinball lineup. They were, of course, last week we're at the Chicago Pinball Expo, or 2 weeks ago now, and they had their Addams Family game there, and it got some negative press because there was some noticeable flipper lag and some other issues with the title game Addams Family. Now, I reached out directly to AtGames, who directly responded to me and said no, they expect all of those issues to be fixed by the time it ships, and if it's not, they do expect a day one firmware upgrade available for it. And of course, being that this is AtGames, you can expect constant firmware updates anyway, as proven by the fact that they have not forgotten about the HD ELP owners. And so I do think that that will be worked out in the end. So I don't think it's anything that you should worry about if you've already ordered the game or thinking about ordering that 4K game. Now, whether or not they should have ever had that machine there knowing that it was still in beta, well, that's a totally different issue. I do think that by the time this thing comes out here in about another month and a half, something like that, that they will have it fixed. They are working really closely with Zen, who has a really good relationship with them apparently, and Zen also highly respects Magic Pixel, who is the other developer that puts out games for AtGames. So I would expect all of that stuff to be fixed on day one, and if it's not too long afterwards. So let's switch gears now and talk a little bit about Arcade1up. Of course, 2023, now that we're already into November, and we know that they're not going to be putting out any other new cabs this year. They did announce last week slightly different versions of their cabaret tables. I'm not sure why they're reissuing those, other than maybe they have PCBs and they just have leftover stock. Anyway, I think they're reskinning them, but essentially you're getting the same thing there. But they did release 11 brand new deluxe design games, which were essentially retreads of older games. We also did see Fast and Furious. I'm not sure if they labeled that one a deluxe or not. The Wheel of Fortune Casino Cade, and the wildly expensive Time Crisis game, which everyone likes but also thinks is too expensive. But realistically, 2023 was sort of a kind of a Arcade1up pausing to take their breath and coming out with the designs I think a lot of us want to have. But of course, that was kind of changed up a little bit, last month when they announced and released the XL Pac-Man version, which means that a lot of us that are in this hobby are thinking, well, I don't really want to buy these new deluxe games now because they're going to be coming out with an XL version of it. And that got me wondering whether or not that's true or not. Are they really going to reissue all those deluxe cabs again in the XL form factor? Or alternatively, are they going to come out with more deluxe cabs but brand new titles? But some of the new titles that have been rumored to come out are Track and Field, Smash TV, Robotron, Tonal Cartage, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Cowabunga collection, so a whole bunch of those turtle games. Lethal Enforcer has been mentioned in terms of a new shooter. Aliens vs. Predator has been rumored for quite a while, but that is one that is also rumored. Street Fighter Alpha, which is one that a lot of people have been asking for, / Street Fighter 3. 720 has been mentioned. I don't think that's actually going to happen. Off-Road has been mentioned as the new driving game in 2024. And we've heard also some rumors that Neo Geo SNK might have a cab coming out from Arcade1up as well. Right now, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a retread from games that we've already had? Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, blah, blah, blah. Any of that stuff, right? Class 81, all of it. But in the XL form factor, or would you rather have a brand new title like some of the ones I just mentioned, like Robotron? Would you rather see that in a deluxe form factor? I would not expect an avalanche of those XL cabs. I mean, we might see 3 or 4 of them next year, but I don't think we're going to see more than that. And I do think that we will see new deluxe cabs. But again, what would you rather have? Retread in an XL or a brand new game in the deluxe form factor? Put another way, would you be willing to wait and not buy a Robotron if it comes out in the deluxe form factor in lieu of waiting for something like a Star Wars in the XL form factor? And if I had to bet $100, I would say that we will see Star Wars in the XL form factor. I hope that we see Tron in an XL form factor. And I'm guessing that we are going to see Robotron, Smash TV, some of those other titles, but not in XL form factors, at least not in 2024. We will see them in the deluxe form factors. Time will tell. Let me know down below what you think. Would you rather have a retread, but it's XL, or a brand new title, something like Robotron or Track and Field, in a deluxe form factor? Let me know down below. Very curious to know what you guys have to think. All right, that's going to wrap up this episode. Thank you for stopping by the old Game Shack. Again, if you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up down below. Love each other. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah!
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.